Oh, that's the delivery man, 2 secs. Okay, this chair is really squeaky. Why is the house phone ringing? Like, I didn't even think I had a house phone. Who rings a house phone these days? Like, it's 2019, people. Hi guys, so welcome back to my channel. I thought I'd just come back and basically do a Q&A video, and I'm not gonna lie, this is the 3rd time I've got round to filming this video, because the first time there was like a blur on the lens, second time I don't even know what happened with it, I think the battery ran out, so 3rd time, hopefully, fingers crossed, we're lucky. But basically, yeah, I'm just gonna be here spilling the tea on myself, quite literally as well, because I'm drinking my peppermint tea. It is so cold outside at the minute. And I literally just thought this would be like the perfect opportunity to just cozy up and for you guys to get to know me a little bit better. So over on my Instagram, which is @allchlorose, if you're not following me already, you can find me over there. I put on my Instagram stories basically that I was going to do a Q&A and for you guys to just ask me anything that you want to know. Some of these are actually quite personal, but obviously I can't answer all of them. I had a lot of you guys slide in the DMs, I guess, shall we say. So I've just kind of put the ones that are commonly asked all the time together, and hopefully that will cover everything, because I feel like you guys like over on my Instagram do sort of ask me the same sort of things, so I thought this would just be easier for me to answer it this way. Right, so I'm going to go in with the first question, and the reason that I've put this one first is because it is it is asked the most, and it's basically, so I had 2 of the questions and I'm just going to merge them together. One was, how do you keep your hair so healthy with styling it every day, and the other one is basically what's the colour of your hair and how do you get it done. So I'm going to cover this. Basically, I only trust one person in the world with my hair, and that is my hairdresser. I don't go anywhere else. I think when I was a bit younger, this is, by the way, no shame in them, but I think it was Francesco's that I went, and I had the most awful experience. They just are so scissor happy. I remember just saying like I wanted a trim, and they just cut so much of my hair off. The colour was awful. I just came out crying, and girls, I'm sure you can relate, like when you just hate your hair, you just feel like nothing else in the world matters, and that sounds so like such a little trouble to have, but I feel like my hair is like a big thing. So yeah, I was put off from going to hairdressers for a long time, and then my hairdresser now, Soraka, she is a family friend, and literally I couldn't recommend her enough. So she's based here in the Midlands where I live, so if you do live around here or you want to travel, then it will be worth it. I'll list all her details down below as well, and basically I will go in, I could go in there blind and she'll just know what to do. I actually have recently had it cut, if you watched my last video, the Nasty Girl one, but it's kind of grown back a lot already. Like, I swear it was up here, I had quite a few inches off, my hair was really long, and I went quite a bit like blonder, which I'm absolutely loving, but yeah, I think I might go a bit shorter next time I go. So basically, when I go, I have just normally like a trim, but last time obviously I had quite a few inches off, and I'll just have it, so basically she cuts around my face, so I have these little bits here that frame my face, so when I actually curl my hair back, it really works well, and it just kind of like frames my face. And then obviously if I'm wearing it straight, or like just, I haven't straightened it today, I'll get into that in a minute, but if I'm wearing it straight, then obviously I just took it back, and I just have it cut around my face, and then literally just like a straight trim around the edges. I don't have layers or anything like that. I like to keep it quite just like simple, I guess. It kind of reminds me, like, you know, like Rachel from Friends, that kind of haircut. I just don't feel like layers or anything fancy would suit my face shape. In terms of the colour, I have, basically my hair is kind of naturally this colour since I was little. However, obviously I just want to keep it lighter and brighter, because the blonde sort of like goes quite dull in it. So instead of having is it balayage, I don't know how to say it, I basically have like my own little way of doing it, and it's, I have blonde highlights put in, but normally obviously highlights come this way down, but instead Soraka puts them from the bottom and like coming upwards, and just like sporadically, like evenly, however to say this, puts them through my hair, so it kind of just like blends in everywhere, and it just gives me that like brightens up around my face, and then just comes like down around the back. It just means that way that I don't always have like outgrown roots like a block. It just looks sort of like natural, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's kind of like covering the hair part of it. And then in terms of styling, as much as you probably think I do, I don't actually style it that often. 9 times out of 10, I'm not gonna lie to you, I am at home, hair on my head, no makeup, and you probably wouldn't want to see how I look. So then when I am styling it and I go out, I will either curl it, which is with a hair wand. It's the Tresemme one, I'll link that down below. Or recently I haven't been using straighteners in such a long time, because instead what I'll do is I'll blow dry my hair just with like a hairdryer, and then I have this like wand. It's like not a wand, it's like a big round brush. It's called like the big hair brush, I think it's Babyliss, and it's basically like a heated one. So I will like blow dry my hair half done, and then I'll just go around with it with this brush, and it just kind of puts a bit of like life into my hair and like smooths it out, so it takes away the frizz. But that's when I'm just wearing it like this, like straight, just so it looks a bit more sleek and it doesn't really stick to my head. Because when I do straighten it, I feel like it takes like the volume out of the roots, which I don't like. So yeah, I'll link that brush down below as well, because that's really good, and I feel like that's not as intense as using straighteners on your hair. But if I do recommend anything, I always use heat defense spray, and I always make sure it's got like argan oil in it. Sorry then, I was just got really distracted by my phone. Someone popped up. Okay, so next question, kind of on the same subject, and it's skincare routine. So I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible. I don't want to keep rambling on, but with my skincare routine, I've never really had like a set one, but the things that I always do is I double cleanse. So I always cleanse in the morning and cleanse at night. I'll just use like a simple face wash, but recently I've been using a different one ever since I went and got microdermabrasion facial. So I've been using their products. It's called Skin, and they've got loads of clinics around the UK, and since I've had the facial, obviously I've been carrying on with their products, and I've been using that for about a month now, and it's really been working. So I'll cleanse my face morning, night, always moisturise. And then since having this facial, I realised they put like my face under a lamp, and I realised that the pigmentation in my skin from sun damage was actually really bad. So I'm definitely now always wearing an SPF 30 every day. Like even if it's dark, cloudy, raining, and you think, well, I don't need to wear it because it's not sunny, you do. So I always do that. And then I love doing face masks, absolutely love face masks. It's such like a nice pamper. I love the sheet ones. I think it's either Neutrogena or Garnier, the one that I use. It's like moisture mask or something. And then I use a lot of fresh products as well. I always share them on my Instagram stories. So the rose petal face mask, that is so nice and like cooling on your skin. And there's these vitamin C packets that I have as well, and you kind of, it's like a scrub in a way, and you scrub it onto your skin, and it's just basically leaves your skin like glowing, and that's a really good base before putting makeup on as well. But apart from that, I also love Charlotte Tilbury face products. The Magic Cream is so good. I mean, it might be a little bit pricey, but honestly, it's such a good product to have. I've been using them, and also the eye creams. Love eye masks as well, the little gel patches. Mine's the one from Peter Robinson, I think. I'll link them down below because they're so good, and I've actually last night slept in them. It's sort of like a little tip to have, and I literally woke up and I had no eye bags. It was fab, even though I had lack of sleep. So yeah, I love doing little like pampers and things like that. So all the products I do use, I'll list down below for you. Oh, and if there's one product that I do highly recommend and I always use, it's Sudocrem. It is honestly like the most magic thing I've ever known. If you've got a spot, put Sudocrem on it and it will just disappear. It's so good. I spend a lot of my time just walking around the house with Sudocrem on. I sleep in it. It just works a treat if you've got a spot or a breakout or a little bit of a blemish. It's basically magic cream. Okay, so this is the juicy question, and it is, do you have a boyfriend? I'm just kidding, I'm literally out here spilling the tea on myself. But in answer to that question, no, I don't have a boyfriend. I'm single. I've been single for quite a bit now, and yeah, I was in a relationship for quite a few years. I'm not going to go into it or like the backstory, just out of like respect for him and like what we had. Yeah, but I've been loving being single, I'm not going to lie. It's been great having time to focus on myself, focusing on my work and like what I want to do, and just having like no one to answer to and just doing what you want when you want. Obviously as time goes on, I'll probably cover like the whole like single dating life a bit more, but I have had you guys ask me questions like how to deal with fuckboys, like dating apps, things like that, like what to wear on a date. So I'm going to be covering this a lot more. I'm actually going to film a video soon, and it'll just be like date night outfits, so hopefully that'll give a bit of inspo for you single gals out there as well. And leading on from that one, it is, have you ever been heartbroken? And yes, I have been heartbroken before. I'm sure there's many girls out there that have. I think heartbreak is just something that you deal with like differently, and also I think the best like remedy for heartbreak, I know it sounds like everyone does say it, is time is just the best healer. You get over it, and like I look back now and I'm just like, why was I so hung up on that? I think if something, I have the mentality now, like if it's not going to matter in 5 years, then don't spend 5 more minutes like thinking about it. And of course when it comes to heartbreak, it's so much easier said than done, but I think just keeping yourself like occupied, like being with friends, like focusing on the things that you want to do and like that you love doing is sort of like how I've got over it before. So this next one's a really good question, and I get it asked so much, and I've already actually done a blog post on this. So it's how did you start blogging and getting into like Instagram and growing your platforms. And I'll link the blog post down below because I kind of cover it all, sort of like the backstory, how I got into blogging, and I'd quickly cover it now. So I basically studied fashion at college. I left school, didn't really know what I wanted to do. I did A-levels for a year, I hated it, so then I went to college and did fashion, absolutely loved it, and met some really good friends there, and literally I'm still best friends with one of them now. And then after that I went to uni and I studied fashion business and marketing, and it was a really good course. It was at Birmingham, and basically it sort of gives you an open like perspective on all different routes in fashion. So we'd cover like buying, merchandising, marketing, styling. Like there were so many aspects of it that we were learning throughout the years. And then in my final year I sort of focused on the marketing side of it, and that's where in my dissertation I was basically researching into sort of like celebrity endorsement, and that's sort of what led me down the route of blogging. And how like at this point the blogging world wasn't really that big, and Instagram wasn't as big then either. It was sort of like the Zoellas, like the bigger ones that were doing it, and it wasn't really a thing. So I was researching into that, and I realised like it was becoming such a good marketing strategy, and sort of like the whole endorsement side of it, and that's sort of like what opened my eyes to it. So I started my own blog as like my little creative outlet. And I didn't really put my full time into it because obviously when I was at uni, like all my work and time was getting taken up. So when I finally left uni, I carried on doing it, and it was just literally like a side hobby. Like I'll just be posting like my outfits, or just little blog posts of what I was getting up to. And then I started my first job, which was social media marketing, and that was like my first like proper like full-time 9 to 5. And with that it kind of went hand in hand because I was learning about all the marketing side and how to like develop social medias for brands and stuff, because I was working for an agency. So that was really helping me with my own sort of hustle, I guess, with like my Instagram and my blog. And I was basically just consistently putting more time into it. I was shooting all the time. I was every time like spare time I'd have, I'd be doing my blog and my Instagram, or like preparing for it, or shooting or writing. And I literally would give up my weekends, give up most nights. I'd be up quite late, and it was just literally putting the work in is what you get back out of it. So if you do want to read more about it and how I got into it, you can read the blog post. And this one kind of leads on from it as well. It's how do you feel confident in front of the camera and taking photos in front of others? And this question is quite funny because I was having this conversation with my friend the other day, and we're talking about like how we literally just don't care anymore when we're out shooting pictures in the streets, and like some people like look, or like they'll make a comment, and it just literally goes over your head like after you've been doing it for a while. And with building your confidence, I think that just comes in time, and like understanding your angles and like the positions that you think are best for yourself. Like because I'm quite small, I like the pictures to be taken from down below because it makes me look taller. And yeah, it's just understanding like what works for you. And I honestly think you will feel confident in front of the camera when you're feeling yourself. So if you've got a really good outfit that you like your power suit or something like that, it's going to show through the camera. If you're feeling and you believe in what you're putting out there, it's going to work back through what you're shooting as well. But I remember like my first shoot in London was with Rebecca Spencer. She's such a babe, and I was so nervous to shoot. Like I didn't really know how to do it in London, or like the street style side of it. And of course it was in South Ken, like the blogger hotspot, and she was just really good like with direction and like showing me what to do and like how to pose, and like just basically made me feel so comfortable and at ease. And I think that's the key when you're shooting with someone, that you feel comfortable with them too. Even like at first when I was shooting, it'd be like with my mom or my sister, so I always sort of felt comfortable. And then shooting with a photographer that you trust is really good as well. And then a lot of my pictures now I just shoot with other bloggers, and they've obviously become my friends, so we know each other's angles, we know what works for each other, so that's how I think it helps as well, being comfortable with that person. And again, this is leading on, and it's what camera do you use. So I'm going to cover it for like different platforms because I use different cameras. So for YouTube, which I'm using right now, is the G7X, and it's the Canon. Sorry, that was like a tongue twister. And I love this camera for filming on for YouTube, for the fact the camera, like the flip thing, the screen flips up, the flip thing. So technical, aren't I? But yeah, it basically flips up so you can see what you're doing, like the setting, and make sure it's in focus. And it's quite compact as well, which is really nice to just like put in your bag if you're on the go and vlogging and things like that, which I'm vouching to myself I want to be doing a lot more this year. And then for Instagram, I mainly shoot my photos on my phone, so that's just the iPhone 8 Plus. I think it's just easy to get like them candid shots, like when you're out and about, and it's just really easy to take it and edit and stuff on your phone. And apparently like the algorithm on Instagram likes it better. I don't know, who knows with when it comes to the algorithm of Instagram, it's like an absolute mystery. And then also I shoot on my Olympus EPL8. And that's if I'm doing sort of like I want to get like a higher end shot, or it's for a campaign, or I'm doing like a close-up or a flat lay, things like that. But again, I do shoot flat lays on here. I use portrait mode. It's really, really good. And then for other pictures, I obviously just be with a photographer, so they use their Canon, and that will be normally for my blog photos. This one is always asked a lot, and it's how do you edit your photos. I've actually done a blog post on this. I'm going to do an updated one as well soon, because obviously my editing has changed since then. But with editing photos, I will normally just use VSCO. I use like the same sort of filter, but I do it really low, like I'll put it on like 1 or 2% of it, and it's HB1. It just basically puts like a cooler tone on my pictures. And then I always edit in Lightroom, which I feel like everyone nowadays says that they edit in Lightroom, and it's just understanding like how you prefer to edit, like picking out the colours that match with your theme. Like a lot of my photos right now are quite like cool tones with hints of pink, so I normally just copy and paste like my presets over onto my images. But I'm still in the process of learning how to edit. I'm actually going to be taking up some classes this year, so hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll get really good at editing, and also video editing I'm going to be doing some classes on. I just want to up my skills and like learn a lot more about it. Okay, what are your 2019 goals? I'm not going to lie to you, I've had this blog post written out since the start of January, and I keep going to it, adding to it, and I've just not got round to uploading it, which is really bad. But hopefully by the time this video goes up, maybe it'll be live, if not within the next few days. And I'll be covering basically my sort of 2019 goals. So one of my main goals for 2019, and that I'm like really focused on, it sounds a bit cliche, but it's just kind of like self-love and just doing things myself and finding like what makes me happy, and like basically becoming like the best version of myself. And this comes a lot with like mindfulness. So if you've not read the book The Secret, you seriously need to read it, because I know this sounds really extreme, but it kind of like changed my life and like the way I think. And I started reading it in the back end of last year, and so much has changed like personally for me with it. So I'm gonna stick to that, and it's just basically all about like gratitude and like your thoughts, so like what you attract. So yeah, I'm gonna do a lot more of like mindfulness as well over on my blog and like my channels, because I think that's something that like really interests me, and something that I'm focusing on, and just being a bit more kinder to myself. Like I feel like we all do it. We're all so easy to like put ourselves down, or like compare ourselves, or like find, instead of like picking the nice things about ourselves, like always picking out the worst, like, oh, I've put on weight, or I don't look cute in this, or my hair's gross, or we're always, I feel like, more inclined to put ourselves down rather than like be positive. So yeah, I guess this year it's all about like self-love, positivity, and just like being a bit more mindfulness and like sticking to it. So I'm glad someone actually asked this question, even though it's quite personal. And it's, do you live in London? The reason I'm glad they've asked it is because I feel like my life does seem quite confusing if you follow me over on Instagram and stuff, because some people just presume that I do live in London, because obviously a lot of my posts are posted there, and that's where I shoot and spend a lot of my time for like events, meetings, and pretty much 90% of my pictures are taken there. But no, I don't actually live in London. My base is in the Midlands in a town called Stafford, but I just always travel and I stay over a lot in the week. But I'm not going to lie, there's part of me that's kind of like, do I just move there? I used to absolutely hate London, I'm not gonna lie. I just never understood it. I never understood why people would want to live there. Like, it was, I just would go there and be like, this is too crazy for me. But the more I've obviously spent more time there, I actually really like it, and I just find it so much fun. Like, there's so much to do, and like a lot of like my social life is there now as well. So we'll see if I end up there or what my plans will be for this year. So next question is your favourite food and places to eat in London. Not gonna lie, I feel like this is quite vague with places to eat in London, because it's kind of like, what do you like where do you want to go in London? There's so many places. I mean, I haven't even like ventured to like half of them, but I think I found one recently that I really like, and it's just kind of the fact that I'm always on the go when I'm in London. I'm like running around like a headless chicken, and it's poke or island poke, and they do like the best bowls, and they're really healthy, but they fill you up. So I love going there and getting them. I don't like fish though, by the way, so I get the chicken one. Love Mexican, love Italian. I think my favourite dish of all is got to be pasta. I just love carbs. They're literally my downfall. Yeah, I think definitely my favourite food would have to be pasta. Someone has asked, are you going to Coachella this year and your travel must-have? So I'm not gonna lie, when I filmed this video I didn't actually think of the answers before I sat down and did it, but in terms of going to Coachella, hell yes, I'm going to Coachella this year, and I am so excited. Just basically wanted to go back for so long. I used to live in LA, so I've been to Coachella before, but this was like years ago, and I've seen like how much it's grown since, and the fact Ariana Grande is playing, oh my god, I literally cannot wait. She is like my jam at the minute. I'm just loving all her songs, so I really want to see her and go, and obviously like dress up, do the whole Coachella vibes, and just get all really nice outfits, and yeah, I'm really excited for that. So I'm just sort of like putting my plans together for what I'm going to be doing around that time as well, because hopefully I'll be in LA for quite a bit. My travel must-have, I don't really know what my travel must-have would be. I mean, I always take my Ted Baker case with me everywhere. It's like literally stuck to my side. I literally live out of a suitcase, so that would probably be one, because obviously I need it to travel. And also my phone, like the fact I have to take my phone everywhere with me and I shoot my photos on it, so I'd kind of be lost without it when I'm traveling. Okay, so this next question, not gonna lie, it's quite far out of my reach right now, but it's, do you want children, and if so, do you have baby names? I mean, I'm a single gal here. I haven't even got this on my brain in a minute, but I am a bit crazy, I'm not gonna lie. So me and my sister, for like the past, I don't even know like how long, whenever we hear or like someone says like a really nice name, or like we meet someone and we like their name, we have basically like notes in our phone where we add it to it. So me and my sister basically got like a full-on note just for baby names. So I have got it on there, what I'd like to call my children. But I mean, come on now, it's very far out of my reach. Haven't even got a boyfriend, husband, or even that shebang yet, so it's not even on my brain. I can only just about look after myself, never mind a child. When I have my nephew for the weekend, I am exhausted, and he is an absolute angel. I literally love him to bits, but children are hard work, so all the moms out there, props to you, because you've just got to have that patience. So last and final question, because I feel like I've covered a lot of the things that you asked in the other questions, and this is gym routine. A few of you have said to me like, what do you do at the gym, or like what do you eat, and like your diet and things like that. So I'm just putting it out there. I'm no gym expert, I am no fitness guru at all. I've just been doing a lot more of like fitness basically within my lifestyle and like my diet and things like that, just because I wanted to get healthy, I wanted to get fit and shape up. So my goal this year, one of them, is to work out at least 4 times a week, and I have been sticking to that, to be fair. And I always like working out in the mornings. Like I get up and go to the gym, that's just like the way I like to start my day, and I just like to get it out the way early on. Kind of just like sets the tone for the rest of the day, makes me feel a lot better about myself. But yeah, I'm not where I need to be yet at all. I'm still working on it, but I have been losing weight and toning up and like happy with the results basically. I kind of change up my routine a lot in the gym, and I think that's sort of a key as well, because if you've been doing the same things, like your muscles obviously get used to it. So I do a lot of cardio and HIIT workouts, and I absolutely love HIIT workouts. I share them on my Instagram stories sometimes as well. I follow this girl, and like if I'm ever in the gym and I'm sort of like don't really know what to do that day, or like losing motivation, I always watch her videos, and they're really good. And it's just even like the simplest things like burpees, push-ups, just sort of them like fat burning ones that work for me. And then other days I'll focus on specific specific areas like my back and arms, so I'll use like the machines and do weights, or some days if I just really can't be bothered, I'll just literally do like a half-hour cardio session. I do a lot of like bum and leg exercises, squats, things like that. But yeah, I'm going to cover a lot more of this over on my channels, and hopefully that will give you a bit more better insight, as it's hard to explain it. It's easier to show you, I guess. And in terms of my eating, I just try and keep it as balanced as I can. So if I'm just like at home, I'll make sure I'm making like healthy snacks and things like that. But I'm not gonna lie to you, I love my chocolate, I love my sweets, I love literally carbs. Carbs are my downfalls. Anything that's basically beige, I love it. So I do have these things, and obviously another downfall is alcohol, so like Prosecco and wine. That's where the calories come in. But I just like to keep it balanced. So like most of the week I'll keep it healthy, and I love cooking, so I cook myself a lot of meals, and I'll prepare them, or like just have it, say if I've cooked it and there's some left over, I'll have it the next day, and kind of basically cutting down on the carbs and maintaining like good healthy fats. So that really helps as well with losing weight if that's like your goal. But yeah, my main key really is to keep it balanced, and like I said before, I'll hopefully be covering a lot more of this, and like my recipes and cooking and stuff like over on my blog as well. Okay, so that is pretty much all the questions I'm going to answer on this video, guys. I did have quite a few more, but like I said, I've just sort of like merged them together and covered the topics that are like most frequently asked. So hopefully you did get to know me a little bit better after this, and if you did like it, then give it a big thumbs up, and remember to hit subscribe because there's going to be a lot more videos coming your way. But yeah, until next time, guys, I will see you then.